lobster. These are the Maine lobster claws, and your choice of 2 pounds or 4 pounds of the already scored and already cooked lobster claws that come to you at a price of $115 if you pick it up in the 2-pound assortment, or if you get the 4 pounds, you double the amount of claws, but don't double the price. You get them for $28 less at $202, or 5 payments of $40 per month. Now, anyone who knows Greenhead knows that this is a company that is certified Maine lobsters, and we'll talk about why that's important in just a moment. You also receive with your order, if you get the 4 pounds, 2 of the Marie's butters. If you get 1 pound, you get, or Kate's butters, you get 1 of Kate's butters if you get the 2 pound. But here's the part that we love the most, and Greenhead has perfected their high pressure processing to help us get all the tail meat out when we buy the lobster tails. They have now scored these claws. So as you can see, this claw is completely scored across the top. All I have to do is pull that entire top off, open up the little handle, basically, open that handle, pop it, and then I get to reach in and grab all of this delicious meat. So the hard part is done. I mean, I talk about picking crab meat, and I do enjoy the event of picking crab, but when it boils down to it, is what you really want is to have all of that delicious meat that you can then dip and devour. And that's exactly what you get in this assortment. I have the pleasure of working with Chef Nicole Gaffney to talk with us about these Greenhead claws. And this is the first time, Nicole, we've ever done the claws, right?
Yes, I'm so excited to be debuting these new claws, because let me tell you, what I, as a chef, and all of the lobster men and women in Maine will tell you is that the claw meat, and more specifically the knuckle meat, is the sweetest, best part of the lobster. Yes, we all love the tails. The tails are amazing, but this is where it's at. I want to take you guys to the heart of lobster country. I want to take you to Stonington, Maine. So this is where the headquarters of Greenhead Lobster is located. This is what you see here on your screen, and it's all about location, location, location. It's right here in the Gulf of Maine, the ice cold water, the rocky coastline that produces the best, sweetest, most succulent lobster in the entire world. And we were started in 1995 by Hugh Reynolds, and these are passionate lobster men and women. They are all certified from Maine, which is so important to note, and we have the license here to show you. These are highly regulated and so important to have. But I am very excited about these claws today.
And look how much you get. And you saw how big they were, Miss Jane, didn't you?
They're
I mean, they
huge.
are huge. These are huge claws.
And
look at that.
I was telling Jane earlier, Nicole, that I've always bought your lobster for my husband. In fact, last year I bought it during Christmas in July, and I forgot about it. And then they came in December, and he said, "Did you buy me lobster?" And I'm like, "No, I already have his." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I did buy you lobster." So then this year I ordered it as a little belated birthday present when you came back in with it for Christmas in July. He has some hand issues. He's had hand surgery, has a trigger finger, so it's just so hard for him. I've seen him struggle at restaurants because lobster is his favorite, and you guys have just made it so much more enjoyable, so much more fun, and the lobster is amazing. And with a price going up at the end of the show, we got an hour and a half, Jane, to be dunking that into that butter.
Oh, you know it, honey. And the butter is delicious, too. It comes in that big tub, and you just heat that whole bad boy up, and you can dip to your heart's content. So 400 already spoken for. There are 2 ship weeks, so November 8th or December 6th. If you want it closer to the holiday and you want this to be for Christmas or New Year, then you can go with that December ship week. And Nicole, talk to us about how long we can keep them in the freezer and how to prepare them when we take them out, because they're fully cooked, but you do want to defrost them and heat them, right?
Exactly. So they will keep in your freezer for an entire year. I guarantee they will not last that long. You will 100% eat them before the year goes by, but just so you know, they're good for a year. Now they're fully cooked, so you really don't have to do anything other than defrost them. You want to give them a good rinse under cold water. We suggest defrosting in the refrigerator overnight, but if you're like me and you don't plan ahead, you can stick the bag in a bowl of cold water and defrost in about a half an hour. So you can heat these up. We actually do recommend you can eat them cold or just warm them through slightly if you want to eat them hot, because they're already cooked. You don't want to cook them any further. You just want to warm them back up to temperature. But I want to tell you too about the HPP process for anyone who's not familiar with our lobster tails. So we use this really cool process called high pressure processing on the lobster tails. And we do that same thing for these claws. What that means is we shoot thousands and thousands of gallons of high pressure water inside of the shell right before we freeze it, so that it releases the meat. And then we've gone ahead and cracked these for you. So all you have to do is pop them open like this. Like Jane showed you before, you can kind of pull that piece off, and then look at this. It all comes out in one piece. This is crazy. This is unheard of when it comes to lobster. I've never done this before having
and
these
honestly,
claws.
this is why we don't order crabs and lobster in whole shells at restaurants, because we don't want to put our hands all over it. We want this already done. So now we can have that prime Maine lobster delivered to our home and have it already prepared. Basically, you're just heating it up or just defrosting it, and it takes seconds to get all of that delicious meat. And you don't even need a bib when you're eating it. And I also love, Nicole, when I look at the inside of the shell, everything is gone. I've got all the meat. It's completely clean, so there's nothing wasted. And once again, I think this year, especially Miss Jane and Nicole, we're going to be celebrating in a big way. And I'm hoping that we're able to maybe celebrate with our family and friends, the thing we didn't get to do last year. So we want our meals to be special, and we don't have to go anywhere to get that. This is delivered to your door, free shipping and handling, a 5-star restaurant, gourmet delight from Maine, certified Maine lobster. Make every opportunity you have a special occasion. Don't save it and wait. Do it now, because we've learned after this year that, you know, life is unpredictable and you want to be able to enjoy every single moment. Look at that.
Look at that.
All of that good meat.
Greenhead Maine lobster, always consistent. I just got back from the Cape. They're famous for their lobster rolls. We tried a couple different places. One might have been a little bit better than the other in terms of the tenderness. The Greenhead, and I know because my husband loves lobster, it's something he and my daughter will often do together when mom's working. I know, can you imagine that? But it's always so consistent. And you go to a restaurant and it says lobster, market price. And then you have that awkward moment when you have to be like, so how much is it? And then, you know, they tell you, it's so awkward. And they're like, how much?
You have to ask, right?
And you know, because you do. So here we go. We have a one-time only price that's leaving us in an hour and a half. And it will be 6 months before we'll see anything close to this, if ever again.
High pressure process. Even the little fin that is the connector to the claw comes out completely clean. So you're not even picking in there for any meat. All you do is peel that bad boy and everything. Look at that. There is nothing left in the shell. So it's the same process, but now it's with the tender claw meat. And not for anything, if you have never had lobster claws, chop it up and put it in an omelet, unbelievable. Or use it as like your side dish to go with your steak, so you can have your surf and turf. Or use it,
put it right on top.
in pastas,
on
and
top
just
of mac and cheese.
make it that seafood tower.
Lobster rolls.
Right, so you can put the shrimp and the, you know, clams or whatever, and this seafood tower is now accessible and easy to get into. I love Jane's story about dexterity issues and how now you don't have to worry about it. But it's really also about not ruining something that we invest in. You know, that's the other reason why we don't do a lot of lobster at home, because normally you mess it up or you can, you know, ruin it or not get the meat out. You don't have to worry about that with Greenhead, because they perfected this process. So again, like Jane said, take advantage of the price before it goes up. The end of the day, end of the show, the price goes up. Now $900 spoken for. If you want the 4 pounds, it's going to be basically 2 of these bags. This is one of the 2-pound bags. you can get those. That has been, the 4-pound has been the most popular choice, and we only have 150 of each of the ship weeks available in the 4 pounds, and just a few more in the 2 pounds. Of course, whenever you buy more, you save at QVC, so you save about $28 off the price when you go ahead and double that order and pick up that 4 pounds, which is the way I would do it. And maybe it's just for you and your husband. You know, Jane, we've been both married for long, long times, and you have to kind of create that magic and have, and Nicole too, create that magic with just a really special dinner for just the two of you. You can take out just 2 of these claws and maybe serve it with a salad, or maybe your steaks that you got from Rastelli's, whatever, but enjoy it. Do it now and take advantage of this great price.
So true. And I want to show you the knuckle meat. This little piece of knuckle meat that I have here, this is a little secret that comes from Maine. So maybe you've had lobster tails before, and they're great, but it's all about this tiny little morsel. Everyone in Maine, everyone who knows lobster will tell you this is the best part of the lobster, hands down. It is the most coveted because it has the most flavor.
Down.
It's the sweetest and it's the most tender. Claws down. I love that. That's great. But it's my favorite part too. And now it's so easy to access because normally the knuckle is the hardest part to get to. It's nearly impossible to get in there. But we've made it so easy for you. I love it so much.
I mean, I didn't realize that there was that much of a difference in that little knuckle joint. Now I'm going to have to really jump into it.
I know. Now we need to try, Jane.
Nicole, I have to tell you, over Christmas this last year, we did our own like little special surf and turf, and we used the Greenhead tails. So now to be able to actually get the claws, which is that tender, delicious sweet meat, I'm really excited about this offer for everyone that is shopping today. Now 1,200 of these spoken for. It's 2 pounds for $115, or double it, but don't double the price, $202 for 4 pounds. And now we are last call on the 4 pounds in all ship weeks. So November 8th or December 6th. Please don't wait. The only show at this price, and you do get that delicious butter along with your order too. Nicole, thank you so much for bringing this to us.
Jane,
I think everyone's going to love it.
My pleasure.
Good
Merry
to see
Christmas in July.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
You too.
Well, from Jane's beautiful filet to that